What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of the only news source that provides anything and everything anime and manga related, and we don't bore you. We get into it. Let's do it.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, welcome back to another episode of FORNEVERNEWS. As always, people watching right now, about 65% of y'all watching don't even realize that maybe y'all not subscribed, y'all haven't hit the bell. If so, please do that because it definitely helps out the show, helps us to grow, thrive, and continue onward. And yeah, the support of you means the world to me, so I'd appreciate it if you do those two things. A little like and a comment as well goes a long way. I'm just saying, without further ado, people, I'm ready to talk some news. I'm ready to get into it. Let's do it. Let's get to the shits. And first on the docket, it's something pretty freaking huge. I know One Piece fans in the United States right now are probably going to be mixed between not really particularly caring because a lot of people have moved on from this era, but also at the same time rejoicing because something huge is happening where Toonami is once again giving it a try and bringing One Piece back. In case you don't know, Toonami and One Piece has had a very interesting history. They brought the series back in the day onto the platform. It didn't do so well. Kind of, I think Toonami, went off air for a few years and whatnot. Then Toonami returned. They brought One Piece back on air. They started like at the Davy back fights, which was really random, but at the same time, it had a purpose because it was like flashbacks to each character and stuff like that. It didn't do so well. They took it off air, and now once again, according to Jason DeMarco and a lot of sources, Toonami is bringing back One Piece. Jason DeMarco, which I thought he was leaving Toonami. I guess he's like leaving everything else from Adult Swim minus Toonami because it seems he's still in the ball game with it. He said, hashtag Toonami fans, very happy to say we are bringing Sexy back starting this Saturday. And he posted an image of Toonami's lineup. It says lineup date 122. So okay, so it already actually returned. It started at 12 a.m. Blade Runner Black Lotus, 12:30 a.m. Assassination Classroom, 1 a.m. Made in Abyss, and then an hour back to back, 1:30 a.m. One Piece, 2 a.m. One Piece, and then 2:30 a.m. and 3 a.m. Naruto Shippuden, and then 3:30 capping it off with Cowboy Bebop. That is so dope. They really need to bring back Bleach on there to really have that big three effect. But bringing One Piece is huge, and they also said we are starting at episodes 517 and 518. I don't want to hear your opinion on that. Hopefully third time is the charm, which if I'm not mistaken, I remember very vividly that is the beginning of the time skip. That is where they start off the time skip for One Piece, which is honestly not a bad way to start. Like, okay, the big journey, whatnot, people that are going to watch it are going to watch it. And you could definitely see, as we've been following up and reporting in on what's been going on with Toonami and the changes and Adult Swim's decline and all that jazz, that Toonami is fighting, and they know that One Piece fans, one thing about us, we're very loyal. We will come through even if we're not really watching cable. We'll be like, yo, ma, you got cable still, right? Yo, can you just at 12 o'clock put on this One Piece? I'm gonna come through. Maybe we can spend a little time. And they will do that just to support that One Piece. So honestly, awesome move. It's also dope in a lot of ways because One Piece in the merchandise department, usually in particular, like going to the mall and stuff like that, every time it gets taken off the air, and I've seen proof that like while it's on air, I could go and find One Piece shirts at Hot Topic. I could go and find One Piece merch here and there. Since it's been off air, I'll still find One Piece merch from time to time, but it becomes a little bit more scarce because now that audience that still, gravitates towards cable, which is obviously shrinking, but it's still nevertheless there, they won't go to the malls and look for stuff if it's not on TV, obviously, if they're not finding it and whatnot. So them putting it back is going to be a big deal. I'm excited to see how much impact over the year it's going to have of One Piece merch and all that jazz, and just in general to see what it does, because I ain't gonna lie, lineup is starting to look very classic. Yo, you got One Piece, Naruto, Bebop, and then a little bit of new stuff with Assassination Classroom, Made in Abyss, Blade Runner. It's looking like a pretty decent lineup, and just in general, the return for the legendary One piece and alongside Naruto Shippuden. I'm digging it. I ain't gonna lie. And starting with the time skip, that's a really awesome way to start things off. Shout outs to Jason DeMarco once again trying to make major moves over there at Toonami. Whenever I report on and give my opinions on Toonami, it's never with any malice. I want to be clear on that because I really, you know, I'm a Toonami guy at heart, dog. I grew up on Toonami, Dragon Ball Z back in the days, all of that good stuff, you know, Bo and shit. So it's never from a bad place. It's just genuinely speaking of where we're at in today's climate with streaming becoming just the norm and cable TV shrinking day by day. But ultimately, yeah, One Piece on there, I'm going to support it. I don't got cable, but I know a few people that still do, so I'm going to hit them like, yo, put that One Piece on that Toonami block, okay? Just do me the solid. Do the One Piece fandom the solid. Just in general, One Piece back on the block. Let's frickin' go! Moving forward, we got a couple of pieces of Boruto news. For starters, we got something in case you're not caught up on the manga. I'm going to get brief into it because we just recently had a very explosive chapter 66. Don't worry, not going to say the big spoilers or whatnot, but chapter 66 of the Boruto manga was explosive, and we got a little bit of a teaser preview for the upcoming next chapter that I'm going to read right here. So yeah, if you're not caught up on the Boruto manga or you don't want to know, maybe this isn't the best segment for you, but I did want to share it with the people that, yeah, might want to know. Because it said at the end, the final page side text for the chapter 67 preview, they're brothers who swore an oath to one another. After being at the mercy of their own destinies, toyed by their own fates, what path did they finally end up taking? And I'll be honest with you, reading that and understanding where we're at with things right now, again, Boruto, I've said it numerous times, I'll say it once more, it was initially set up to be a almost reboot in a sense, a remaking, a reimagining of Naruto. Somewhere along the way it turned into, oh, it's a sequel spin-off about his kids, and it wasn't the initial idea of like just remaking Naruto from the beginning as kind of like, you know, a fun little side manga whatnot. It turned into what it ultimately became, and where the story is at right now, it's a little bit different. Everything isn't exactly beat by beat, but ultimately it's very much so reminiscing. We're pretty much almost at like the end of part 1 of Naruto. So when we read that line that says, what path did they finally end up taking, it's making me think that that foreshadowed time skip where we had like Boruto older, Kawaki older, battling it out with a destroyed Konoha behind them, we might be heading into that adult or older time period right now. Like that's probably what they're referring to with that, what paths did they take, because we're at a point where people are going to walk different paths, people are going to feel a certain way, a lot of destruction has happened with a lot of characters in Boruto, and just in general is about to be a very interesting time of transition, and we might be going through a major overhaul of the Boruto series because, yeah, it hasn't been the greatest in terms of sales-wise. Like, Boruto is at a decline at this particular point, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to lead towards, at the very least for the manga's sake, okay, we've done all we can do with this time period. Let's get to the time skip. It was already announced over a year ago at this point that they were headed towards there. They might be like, okay, it's about time, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen, because I also recently had a very big issue with Boruto fans that were very, very upset and sending vitriol my way simply for saying, hey guys, how would you feel if Boruto, after the time skip, basically focused in and made the main characters Naruto and Kawaki? Because, you know, business-wise, Boruto hasn't been the most successful or fruitful, you know, financially in terms of for the entirety of manga sales and all that jazz. I thought to myself, well, they might want to just, you know, rebrand altogether. Instead of it being Boruto Naruto Next Generation Z, they might say, you know what, it's just Naruto Next Generations, or it's just Naruto The Future Resurrection, whatever it may be. Ultimately, they might decide to go a different route, and it might be, you know, kapoots, so to speak, for the Boruto story, because ultimately it turned into, like, it started off with Naruto being very involved, and he still came in time to time, but we focused in on Boruto. They might decide to rebrand altogether, and boy, were Boruto fans very upset with me for simply asking the question. And I get it, maybe some people felt like, oh, it's Boruto, why would they money, rebranding with main characters, regardless of how you feel about the story and whatnot, money, financial success, business, that is the most important thing above all else, and that's why I asked the question. But yeah, it looks like their destinies and their fates await, and I'm very, very excited for the Boruto manga. It looks like we're starting 2022 off in free flames, and I'm very, very looking forward to the next one with 67. But also, we got a little bit more Boruto news, because something very, very hilarious. One of the staff on the Boruto anime, I believe he's a producer, director, forgive me, I know he's like some sort of animator for the actual Boruto anime, and yeah, he was getting compliments, and it was a very funny exchange of teaching Japanese native speakers what the meaning of goat is. Because he had posted, the next episode of Boruto 233 will begin the great battle of Kirigakure. Will Boruto and his friends be able to survive on their own in their first battlefield? Don't miss it. Which by the way, the cover of that V-Jump magazine with Boruto and Kawaki, reminiscent of the Naruto and Sasuke stare down. Classic. But somebody, seemingly a Westerner, had replied, Arigato zaimashita, Honda sensei. Thanks for the hard work. You're the GOAT. And Honda replied, since I am not good at English, I thought I was going to be burned to death as a sacrificial goat. But now I know that goat has a good meaning. Thank you. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a massive kick out of that. Honda Sensei, one of the people that works for the Boruto anime, learning the meaning of goats, greatest of all time. I ain't gonna lie, that was freaking incredible to read, and I was happy I was able to experience such a moment. But yeah, I guess Honda Sensei understands what it means to be a goat. And yeah, people, that's all the Boruto news we had. Again, a preview for chapter 67, and one of the staff members for the Boruto anime understanding what it means to be a goat. Okay, next up, Jujutsu Kaisen fans. Very interesting stuff. I hope that they do this over here, because apparently the Jujutsu Kaisen anime film, they doing 4D over there. It says here, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero anime film gets 4D Dolby Cinema screenings starting on February 5th. This year's 8th issue of Shueisha's Weekly Shonen Jump magazine revealed on Monday that the Geki Joban Jujutsu Kaisen Zero anime film will get 4D and Dolby Cinema screenings in Japan starting on February 5th. The film opened up in Japan December 24th and has sold 8,576,429,150 yen, which is about 74.9, pretty much $75 million in its first 24 days, so not even a month yet, and $75 million. The film is the 64th highest earning film in Japanese box office history as of last Monday, and the film is still outpacing last year's highest earning film, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time, which sold 4,513,374 tickets for about 6,898,613,200 yen, which is about $60 million in its first 28 days. The final Evangelion film eventually ended its Japanese box office run with a final total of about $88 million, which I have no doubt in my mind Jujutsu Kaisen is going to surpass that. Again, I'm interested to see when it's all said and done what the worldwide numbers look like. Like, 4 months from now when it airs over here in the West, which I'm hearing conflicting reports. I'm hearing February, and then I'm also hearing now that it was confirmed somewhere that we're getting it March. So once I get a concrete thing like Funimation announces, hey, this is the dates and you can order your tickets, you guys will be the first to know. Trust me, I will let you guys know immediately that very next episode so you could get your tickets bought and all that jazz, because we're going to have a great time with this. But yeah, it seems as though they're doing 4D over there. Whatever it is, I hope they give us the best experience over here in the West for this, because I'm very, very much so anticipating this film. Like I said, I've had it in my, like people have sent it to me in my emails and stuff, and I've been like, no, I'm gonna restrain myself and wait for the ultimate experience, because this is Jujutsu Kaisen. I very much so put Gege Akutami in this series on a high pedestal. Yeah, but dope stuff that they're doing a 4D screening over there. Hopefully they do something like that over here. Next up, in case you missed the latest episode of Forever News before this one, where I was talking about the anime awards, and I was like, yo, there's a series Ranking of Kings. Yeah, I'm pretty much a massive fan of it, and eventually I'm going to have a video. So I saw a little bit of news about it, and I was like, well, I'm really loving it. I'm imagining there might be some Ranking of King fans. Drop a like right now if you're a Ranking of King fan, or you just enjoy it or something like that. Just saying. But yeah, so I wanted to cover this is really freaking awesome news. It says, Osama Ranking, aka Ranking of Kings, anime adaptation will cover the complete first story part, first 12 volumes, and a total of 23 episodes. So season 1 is going to be 23 episodes, unless there's going to be a 24th episode that dives into the second half of the story. But yeah, first 12 volumes, which I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not sure the structure of the manga, if it's like, 12 short volumes, maybe like each chapter is like 10 or 15 pages, but 12 volumes in 23 episodes sounds ridiculously rushed. Now, with that being said, I don't feel that it's rushed at all in the anime. Like, I'm really, really loving this anime so much, more than I ever thought I would have. But yeah, that's going to be interesting to note, I guess. Maybe if I ever do go back with the manga, or if you're a manga reader right now of Ranking of Kings, let me know. Are they rushing through things? Is this too much to do 12 volumes and 23 episodes? How's that going to work? And just in general, very interesting story. And I ain't gonna lie, Ranking of Kings, Studio Wit. I will have a video at some given point, hopefully in the near future, letting you guys know that it's the truth, fam. It deserves the praise. But yeah, people, Ranking of Kings, first story part, first 12 volumes to be adapted, in a total of 23 episodes. Interesting stuff this season. My God, man, I'm just enjoying it so much. It's so freaking good. Boji! Okay, let me stop fanboying. Save it for another time. Next up, we got the Weekly Shonen Magazine author comments, courtesy of these people listed right here, Jose_K, as well as WSS Talk Back. Shoutouts to them, and of course, Weekly Shonen Magazine unofficial Twitter as well. Shoutouts to all of them. For starters, we got Atsushi Okubo, creator of Fire Force. During the New Year's holiday, I ate, slept, and did absolutely nothing more than usual. I stood in bed because I was sick as a dog on New Year's Eve. Hey, okay. Then we got Negi Haruba, author of Sentai Daishikaku, aka Ranger Reject. All of our socks are the same, so it's easy to match them with whatever outfit I'm changing into. Okay, that's like the most boringest comment you could ever say. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, what? Okay, you got a whole bunch of white socks. Woohoo! Basil, who cares? Like, I'm sorry, Negi Haruba. I'm not trying to be harsh on you, but that was boring. George Morikawa, Hajime no Ippo. I put the overcapacity stuff into stock without thinking about it. I wonder if he's referring to like the manga, maybe overcapacity of like. Yeah, I'm confused on that one. Next up, we got Ken Wakui, author of Tokyo Revengers. For the first time in 5 years, I took the New Year's holiday to rest. Getting too much rest is bad news, though. I ain't gonna lie, again, I had no choice but to rest. I had a massive migraine. My body was killing me. I had cold chills. It was bad. I was sicker than sick. So yeah, sometimes a lot of rest is a great thing. Then we got Hiro Mashima, author of Eden Zero, Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest, Rave Master, y'all know the vibes. He said, during New Year's, I kept working on the game I'm creating as a hobby. Before I realized it, the holiday was done and the time to work had come. Yo, Hiro Mashima and me, we share a lot of similar traits when it comes to just how obsessed we are with our work. Like, that is what I do. Like, I'm working on this video right now, and then I'll be like to myself, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch some anime and relax and chill after this, and then next thing you know, I'm editing a podcast episode, I'm doing thumbnails, I'm working on my book, I'm workaholics, baby, workaholics. And lastly, for the Weekly Shonen Magazine author comments, we got Nakaba Suzuki, author of Four Nights to the Apocalypse and Seven Deadly Sins. This reply is a little bit late, but Okubo, I don't have a cell phone. What's 3G? Really, dog? Like, what? So maybe Okubo in that comment, I remember it was like a week or two ago when he was referring to Nakaba Suzuki's cell phone and shit. Maybe Okubo was poking fun at Nakaba Suzuki. Maybe he has an old cell phone and he's just really unfamiliar with what the hell that even means. Like, that is funny. I love to see interaction. See, that is something that would spice up these Weekly Shonen Magazine or Weekly Shonen Jump, all of them in general, having the authors interact with one another. Like, imagine a whole entire comment thing where I would cover every author if they were all talking to each other like, hey, this is Oda's message to Tabata about Black Clover, or vice versa. That would be so entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. But shout outs to all of these authors. Again, talking more about New Year's, they're probably still in the spirit. Yeah, Nakaba Suzuki, 5G's here now, you know, that 3G, how much longer are you gonna last with it? Okay, people, next up, a couple of big pieces of news for the Tokyo Revengers manga. For starters, all volumes of Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui are being reprinted again, which means hella more sales are incoming. That means that the stores was like, yo, y'all got any more of that? You know what I'm saying? All these people keep telling us we want these volumes and we don't got any more. Y'all got any more of that? You know what I'm saying? That good stuff, you know what I'm saying? So, Tokyo Revengers volumes continuing on to bring it in. And while we're talking about Tokyo Revengers success, the other piece of news, Tokyo Revengers by Ken Wakui has 50 million copies in circulation, including digital, for volumes 1 through 25. 50 freaking million. I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy. It's about to surpass, if I'm not mistaken here shortly, My Hero Academia, which My Hero had, what, like a 3-year head start and is in a bigger publishing company, Kodansha, Shueisha, aka, you know, the publishing company for Weekly Shonen Jump. That is massive. I ain't gonna lie, that is absolutely massive. And I ain't gonna lie, I've been lately seeing more and more slander towards Tokyo Revengers. Shout out to all my people that recognize the absolute greatness of Tokyo Revengers. Dog, I hate it when I be seeing that shit. I be like, what have you been watching, lad? You're alright, you fucking always need a little bit of medicine or something. Like, what are you doing, dog? Like, there's Tokyo Revengers slander every day and I'll just be there like, disgusting, slime, swine. Y'all don't understand, though. Y'all don't get it. So shout-outs to Ken Wakui. Shout-outs to 50 million Tokyo Revengers. We about to pass My Hero Academia. This is bananas. And last story of the episode, my peoples. My Hero Academia will be on break next week in Weekly Shonen Jump issue number 9. And the series, of course, will resume in issue number 10 as scheduled, which at this point, very, very awesome, and shout outs to Shonen Jump. They didn't announce it per se, but it's very clear that there are regular breaks for all of these authors now. I think that this is something that they came to terms with. Yo, unless we want to kill these men, unless we don't care about them and we're going to look really bad, we should give them, because this has been a couple years now that every few chapters, each manga gets a little bit of a break. Now, of course, it's My Hero's turn. Probably the following week will be Black Clover taking a break, etc., etc. But that's really dope that he's getting a break, and I ain't gonna lie, probably after that break, because we just had the chapter, so that means next week no manga, probably following that we'll begin the final arc, the final, the finale or whatnot, based on the latest chapter 341, if I'm not mistaken. Like, yeah, big stuff. So Horikoshi, rest up, because this last stretch of My Hero Academia chapters, I'd imagine, considering we're headed towards the climax, the finale, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be impactful, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, get that break in, let's do it. I'm fine, I got plenty of other manga. That's one of the best things about reading a bunch of manga and reading a bunch of different series. It's like, okay, My Hero's on break, I still got Black Clover, I still got Jujutsu Kaisen, I still got One Piece, I still got, Sakamoto Days, I still got Marshall, I still got Kaiju number 8 when it dropped. I got a ton of manga to enjoy in the meantime, and let's not even talk about the anime and all the other really dope stuff that I'm into. And first order of business, I wanted to talk about Invincible Season 2, an update from one of the voice actors of the main character of the series at that. Yeah, he recently, a few weeks ago, had spoke out regarding what's going on with Invincible Season 2, and unfortunately, it kind of makes me wonder, when are we going to get this next season, considering, to my understanding, when it comes to the animation process, basically with American-made animation, we pretty much record the lines of dialogue, send them to wherever they're going to be created, whether it be overseas and whatnot, and then they animate to kind of match the mouth flaps. So voice acting is probably early on in the whole scenario of, creating animation. So with this announcement, I guess you could say, it kind of makes me wonder, well, what's going on with the production schedule? When are we going to be seeing those next couple seasons of Invincible? Let's read, though, what was said. The Walking Dead Stephen Yeun shares promising update on Invincible Season 2. Stephen Yeun has given an update on the second season of Invincible, promising it will be bonkers and possibly better than the first. The Walking Dead star reteams with creator Robert Kirkman and voices the lead role of Mark Grayson / Invincible in the acclaimed superhero animation, which made its debut early last year and was quickly renewed for 2 more seasons. In a new interview with Collider, Yoon confirmed that while they quote-unquote haven't started working on season 2, they will be beginning at some point soon. I've talked to Robert Kirkman here and there, he explained. He's super excited about it. He thinks season 2 is going to be even better than season 1, which I have no doubt about. If you go to the source material, Invincible is an incredible comic, and just thinking about how much story has been told from that run, it's going to be bonkers. I'm really excited about it. Yoon went on to admit that, quote-unquote, he did not expect this level of response in regards to the first season, suggesting there was a strong appetite for adult animation. FORNEVERNEWS only been saying that since like 2010. I've been telling people like, yo, dog, a lot of people would love some adult animation, you know what I'm saying, aside from, Family Guy and South Park type of stuff, like action animation, it doesn't always have to come from Japan and be anime. I'm just saying, like, yeah, Invincible is finally coming in and quenching that thirst that a lot of people have for that style. People really enjoyed the show, he continued. That's not to say I thought the show wouldn't be enjoyed, I just didn't know how many people were coming to it like that. To me, I think it speaks to America's appetite now for adult animation, which is really cool. I grew up on it. I think all of us, our generation and below, grew up on it. Largely, our programming was dictated by the generations before us that didn't necessarily love animation that way. We're in a weird, cool time where I'm seeing so many kids watch anime and so many people watch adult animation. People are learning about Don Hertzfeldt. It's thriving. I think we're probably on the precipice right before things really pop off. I think we're going to get some, hopefully, Hayao Miyazaki levels of animation. We do with Pixar, but I just mean coming from different places. It's a new world. It's certainly all brand new, and I ain't gonna lie, I love to hear it, man. I've been saying for a long time, dog, like, what's going on? Like, we haven't had amazing storytelling, action-driven cartoons. Like, I don't know, for me, it was always since, like, the DCAU back in the days where you had Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Static Shock. All of that stuff was so rich with content of storytelling and whatnot, and we've had, like, direct-to-video stuff and whatnot, but there wasn't really that many shows. I mean, I know some people will point out shows that I personally never really got into. Like, I've heard that there's some deeper themes to Adventure Time and things like that, but for the most part, getting those big action shows, especially at the level of intensity and insaneness that Invincible delivered, American animation has been lacking in that aspect, and that's why I'm a massive fan of Invincible. The awesome storytelling, the awesome action, no holds bars, just everything about Invincible is so amazing to me. So yeah, it seems as though Invincible season 2, it's not quite started just yet. Maybe, hopefully within the next couple months, they'll be going to, record their dialogue, send that thing over to wherever it's going to get animated, and then boom, hopefully by year's end, we'll have season 2 at the very least, and maybe even the beginnings of season 3, or at the very least it'll be worked on, because I am so ecstatic for Invincible. I ain't gonna lie, I really love that show a lot. But yeah, people, just an update on Invincible season 2 from the lead voice actor that plays Invincible himself, aka Steven Yeun. Okay, people, next up, 2 pieces of news for Blue Lock fans. In case you ain't heard about Blue Lock, it's a manga that is exploding over there in Japan. I want to say it's soccer, if I'm not mistaken, aka also known around the world as Futbol. Football is just like the American term for a rugby. But either way, that series right now, for starters, let's talk about the manga announcement, because according to this, it says Blue Lock by Kaneshiro Muneyuki Nomura Yusuke has 6 million copies in circulation for volumes 1 through 17, and that's an amazing feat already in and of itself, because it's a Kodansha title. It's a sports series. Sports series are now starting to make waves, but 15 years ago, sports series weren't really the thing. You'd have one once in a blue moon. Like, there's always the slam dunk that is just the legend itself, but in between you get a whole bunch of duds. But yeah, this one, Blue Lock, is gearing up to be something big. And also in Blue Lock news, Blue Lock got an anime teaser trailer. The anime is scheduled for 2022, and just looking at the trailer, I ain't gonna lie, some of the visuals of, I want to say that's the main character. It starts off with him like looking down at a city and crying, and it looks like he's joining some sort of club called like Blue Lock or something, and it looks very interesting because he has like these lines coming from his eyes as he's running, and I'm not sure if that's like a superpower per se. Again, I'm unfamiliar with Blue Lock, forgive me, but it reminds me, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of Kuroko. Whenever they would go into the zones and they would have like the little lines, the lights, like one would be red for one person, one would be yellow and stuff like that. That's kind of what that reminds me of, and I hope it's something similar, because I love the whole concept of taking like quirks, essentially like a My Hero Academia type of thing, giving quirks to a sports series. I find that fascinating. I love fantastical storytelling, mixing in and blending in with stuff like sports. That's freaking awesome. So yeah, I'm not familiar with Blue Lock like that, but this looks dope. The trailer looks good. The animation and art looks fire, especially the art. My god, like some of these scenes of when dude is crying is just very freaking detailed. And yeah, Blue Lock, new TV teaser for the anime, and 6 million copies sold, and it looks quite mighty nice. I ain't gonna lie. I'm definitely gonna be watching this one. I missed out on a lot of sports series throughout the years, but this looks like one I might give it a try. And if I like it, I'll keep going with it. Yeah, Blue Lock. Okay, people, next story. We got some updates on the upcoming episodes for the Boruto anime, in particular some provisional titles. We'll probably get the synopsises for these episodes within the next few days, I'd imagine. But yeah, where we're at with the Boruto anime right now. In fact, last night, I want to say before I went to bed, I was catching back up, because I'm like maybe 4 or 5 episodes behind on the Boruto anime, but I was catching back up, and yeah, it's a little hit or miss, obviously, when we get into certain types of scenarios, but I'm just enjoying as a massive fan, and I feel like sometimes it's almost a bad thing. You can't say this in the Boruto fandom, but as a massive fan of Kawaki, I've been loving these Kawaki-centric episodes and this Kawaki-centric arc, so I'm hoping we go more into delving into his character development. But according to this, it says here, courtesy of Organic Dinosaur over on Twitter, shoutouts to them, provisional titles for Boruto anime episodes airing in February from the TV Guide schedules. For starters, we got episode 235, and that's for February 6th, Infiltrate Doto Island. So again, I'm wondering, are these going to be episodes just in general of like Kawaki going on different missions with people? Like, I'd kind of be cool with that. I really hope, in case you missed my reaction video or just my video in general talking about the latest opening of Boruto, I would be fine with, as simplistic as it may sound, but a rescue Himawari arc. Like, why can't we just get, like, even if it's just 12 episodes, 13 episodes of a run in this anime only stuff that they're doing, Kawaki and Boruto have to team up and throw in Sarada Mitsuki. Please do give them more development as well, to go rescue Himawari somehow, some way. I said it before, I'll say it again. I think I said like, oh, have it that Boruto took Himawari somewhere he wasn't supposed to, and to not get in trouble, he just says, yo guys, let's go and we'll find her ourselves, something along the lines of that. That would be dope. Or of course the classic, hey, Himawari was kidnapped and they told told the kids to stay put, but Boruto decided to go anyway. And again, it'll just give more development even further to Boruto and Kawaki's relationship as brothers. So again, infiltrate Dodo Island. I wonder what is that going to be about. Then episode 236, Escape, on February 13th. Hearing that episode title makes me think what Kawaki would have been like if he was involved in the jail arc that Boruto and Mitsuki, remember when they went to jail for a little bit, false imprisonment and whatnot. Kawaki would just be a nut in there, like fighting with everybody, okay? Kawaki ain't gonna take no shit. So that kind of gives me a little bit of a chuckle to think, like, imagine they go back to Hozuki Castle. Oh my god. Then we got episode 237, A Mobile Fortress, and that's February 20th. And then lastly, episode 238, The Ship of the Bloodthirsty Killer, February 27th. That one kind of sounds interesting. Maybe they're gonna go have a romp with somebody from the Blood Mist Village. I don't know. But yeah, so far, those episode titles, they tell me that definitely, which is to be expected, that we're going to continue on in anime-only related content. Again, it's to be expected. I wasn't expecting us going any other direction as of right now, because we're still, even though the manga is right now so freaking good with chapter 66 right now, it is so good. You should read the Boruto manga. The anime, we're still too close. And until the Boruto manga either goes into a time skip or gives us enough chapters, again, we're probably going to be in anime-only stuff for a while, which, I don't know, I feel so much better. And maybe it's because I've been with the Boruto anime for a long time now, so I'm kind of used to it. But I don't necessarily despise or dislike when it goes into anime only episodes like I did 2 to 3 years ago, when it was just an endless void of like anime only episodes and there were a lot of misses and whatnot. Like, I don't necessarily feel that way. Like, I'm kind of just having a good time laughing and joking, seeing like Kawaki as he's teaming up with Chocho and Shikadai and stuff like that. Like, I'm just kind of having fun with them, so I'm just taking them for what they are, that, you know, they're fun little episodes giving a little bit of development for each of the side characters and of course Kawaki in general. So that's what I'm expecting with these episodes as well. And yeah, that's for the month of February. Seems as though we're potentially again going to be all straight up with anime only episodes, which I expected it. Okay, next up, small update, but I'm very, very hyped for this one as well. For To Your Eternity, it says here, just To Your Eternity Season 2 teaser visual. Broadcasting is scheduled to begin this fall, and it's just a picture of the main character right here, Fushi, and I ain't gonna lie, it's not anything that's gonna be like, oh, I know exactly what is about to go down with this or whatever, but it just looks dope, and I'm excited for it, man. To Your Eternity was one of the best anime of 2021 for me. The animation, the storytelling, it made me cry. Shout outs to all the awesome characters that were in and a part of that season, and just so far this anime in general, like my dude Gugu for life, though, that's my guy, and of course Fushi and the old lady, and just in general, man, like, what a ride. I can't believe we're actually getting a season 2, and fairly quickly as well. So hopefully they keep up with some of that crazy animation that it had, which it did kind of in certain parts. I remember there were certain episodes of To Your Eternity that I was like, whoa, they put a lot of budget in some of those other episodes, and they're real big talent in those other episodes, because some of the episodes would be a little bit like, but either way, To Your Eternity is just really, really good. And yeah, that's the teaser visual for season 2. Next up, fans of Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm sure a lot of you can relate when I say, oh my god, I really want season 2. I can't freaking wait. Mappa Studios is going to give us some really, really high quality stuff, and the source material is really freaking good. Well, we got a small update on Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, courtesy of the president of MBS. It says here, MBS president comments on possible season 2 for Jujutsu Kaisen anime. The president of MBS television channel, Yoichi Mushiaki, commented on a possible second season for the Jujutsu Kaisen anime during an online press conference held on Wednesday. In the press conference, Mushiaki stated, "At this time, I'd like you all to wait for us to state a concrete plan. However, I think we can provide a development that will meet expectations. The Jujutsu Kaisen TV anime premiered in October 2020, and it had 24 episodes, which makes me wonder, unless they're keeping it on the wraps, which they very well could be, is Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 not in production yet? I mean, I know, for crying out loud, they just gave a film, and it's still technically airing in theaters and whatnot, so they probably want to try their best to not go too much, because we know Studio Mappa, they grab every freaking title under the damn sun, and they have their animators going nuts trying to figure this shit out. So completely understandable there. But yeah, the way he's talking is as if they don't even have it all established of how they're going to move with season 2, which makes me think that there could be somewhat of a wait for Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 if they're not fully invested in already creating it, like, or in production and stuff like that. It could be a while. It could be, and I don't want to say a while because if they do some crazy shit like, 4 years later, oh my god. But if we just got the Jujutsu Kaisen film, it came out December 24th in 2021 in Japan at the very least, we probably shouldn't expect, I'm assuming, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 to start until April of 2023, the earliest. That's my guess. And maybe it could be a little bit earlier than that, but I'd say around anywhere from winter to spring of 2023 is where we're going to probably get Jujutsu Kaisen season 2, because they just did the movie. It takes a while to do anime, and they got 100 other titles that they're trying to do, and I'm sure they want to make blow up or whatnot. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, I'm guessing next year, especially Chainsaw Man gotta drop at some point in the year. I'm sure they don't want to have Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 competing with Chainsaw Man, because it's only gonna hurt the both of them, because they're both amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, hardcores like me, I'm gonna support the living crap out of both of them at the same time, but they probably want to let Chainsaw Man have it, do its thing, and then okay, boom, once Chainsaw Man is over, we jump straight into the next thing, Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. But yeah, figure I'd provide you guys with a little bit of an update, a little bit of insight on what's going on. Seems as though right now they're in the planning stages, unless he's just being vague because, like to keep things on the wraps for Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. And just quickly, while we're on the topic of Jujutsu Kaisen, I figured I'd share this, that Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami is on the cover of the upcoming Anan issue 2284, and it's a picture of Yuta and Geto, and it's, to promote, I guess, the film that is in theaters right now, and it looks pretty dope, honestly. I love seeing these anime and manga lately on the cover of magazines and stuff like that. We need to do more of that. That's a great way to promo whatever they got going. Okay, people, next up, we got a big update for Parasyte fans. In case you ain't hear about Parasyte, it is legendary. The anime is damn near perfect. It was done by Madhouse Studios, aka the studio that came before Studio Mappa, kind of took most of its employees and made Studio Mappa. Madhouse, amazing studio, and Parasyte the Maxim was legendary. But according to this, it says here, Parasyte by Hitoshi Iwaki will get a new full-color hardcover print release in English by Kodansha, 9 volumes in total, starting October 2022. I ain't gonna lie, that's probably a must-buy. I want to say I got maybe 5 or 6 volumes of Parasyte, and they were like all shrink wrapped, which means that they knew like shit gets a little graphic. But yeah, that is something, I ain't gonna lie, any Parasyte fan probably would want that, a hardcover full colored print. I ain't gonna lie, I got the anime, I got some volumes of the manga. I probably will dip into this too, because Parasyte is legendary, amazing story, man. I can't stress enough how much I love Parasyte and how great of, honestly, it's one of the best, or better at the very least, anime of the last decade. Like 2014, I think it dropped, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it 2014? It might have been later than that, I'm not sure. But either way, whatever year that shit came out, I'll never forget, like, it took my undivided attention. It was just that damn good, that damn incredible, and it was based off an older story, and y'all know a lot of times the older stories that were great were really great. But yeah, people, Parasyte the Maxim getting a new full-colored hardcover print release in English. I'm here for it. Okay, people, and last story of the episode. According to this, it says here, editor revealed in a talk show 4 days ago that Wano arc will be the most amazing arc ever since Marineford arc, and it's just a visual of them talking in front of like a massively beautiful, if I'm not mistaken, that was what, Fishman Island era art of One Piece and back in them. But yeah, they've been saying that a lot, but I have noticed, I'm not gonna lie, and there's been a little bit of drama in the One Piece community lately of like people going back and forth. I think people are for the most part ready for Wano to wrap up. I don't think anybody wants it to rush or anything like that, but I think because we've been in Wano for so long, a lot of people probably would appreciate getting to that next arc eventually. And the fact that they're still hyping up Wano, that is going to be the best arc since Marineford, I'm wondering what's going to happen. I mean, I'd imagine there's going to be something emotion filled, because that's usually what makes an arc impactful, and that's what made Marineford so impactful, the emotional things that went down. So man, it could be some heads is on the chopping block, could be somebody gets captured, it could be, I don't know what's going to go down, but the fact that they're really still hyping up Wano when we're in the final stretch of it, a lot of the major battles have been completed and whatnot, that is telling telling that there's still more to look forward to in this arc. And I think that's good as well at the same time for the community of like, yeah, they're still hyping up that there's more epicness to come. So even though you might be a little bit tired of Wano because we've been in it for several years now, ultimately there's more to look forward to. So don't throw in your hat just yet of saying, oh my God, more Wano. They're comparing it to Marineford, and hopefully they live up to the expectations because, come on, yo, Marineford is legendary. To fill those shoes, I don't think Wano has still met those expectations by any means of what Marineford accomplished. Let's see what this final stretch can do, because Wano has been excellent, but Marineford is just, it's such a small, compact, and impactful part of One Piece. I want to see what they got in store. And the first story I wanted to talk about today kind of has me laughing. I'm not even going to lie. Has me laughing, has me bewildered, has me questioning a lot of different things. Because over in China, which if I'm not mistaken, I remember, and we covered this many years ago at this particular point, that I want to say it was quite a few manga were actually banned over there in China. There was a lot of stories that, like Death Note, Attack on Titan, quite a few different stories were completely banned over there in China. So to my shock, to my bewilderment, when I heard this story, I was like, what? What is going on? Because apparently over in China, a lot of people are murmuring and rumbling regarding saying, yo, they ripping off Eren Yeager. There's an Eren Yeager ripoff over there in China, and I'm like, how? So wait a minute, let me get this straight. They're bootlegging to even be able to watch and enjoy Attack on Titan over there, obviously, right? Because if it's banned over there, then how the hell they're getting their hands on it? So they're bootlegging it. And then on top of that, they're bootlegging their bootleg by creating an Eren Yeager lookalike. Oh, what? Let's read, people, because it starts off with, now China have their own Eren Yeager. And the top image says, you know, that's Eren from the Japanese, you know, Attack on Titan. And then that's the Chinese version. I'm like, dog, he looks more like Eren Yeager than Eren Yeager in his own damn anime. And then in the bottom image, it's like, maybe you could argue he looks a little more like, I don't know, Kotomine from freaking Fate Stay Night or some shit in the bottom image in China. But god damn, it looks dead on the nose. Let's read what was said about this. What series, what's going on here? Chinese animation series have their own Eren Yeager. Do you remember that cool looking man bun Eren Yeager who became the crush of many anime fans? Well, it looks like he got reincarnated into a Chinese animation series called Spare Me Great Lord. Well, jokes aside, there is a character from Chinese animation also called Dong Huo who is going viral on social media because of his uncanny resemblance with Attack on Titan protagonist Eren Yeager. That character is called Ni Ting, and he is from the newly released Dong Hao Da Wang Rao Ming Spare Me Great Lord. The series is relatively new, and there are only 5 episodes out till now. Ni Ting is not a main character of the series, but after watching the first 4 episodes, it's clear that he will be a major character in the upcoming episodes, and provided are some screenshots from the episode 3 of the series. Now let's talk about the story a little bit. The main character is weak initially, obviously, and after an accident with the truck coon, he gains the ability to level up. Oh god, this totally straight up sounds like, you know, every isekai you've ever heard of. You heard it right. Just like what happens in solo leveling manga, MC has received a game system where he can obtain points by scaring and making people emotional. Then he can exchange those points for things like healing potions, etc. Okay, so that was the short summary after watching the first 4 episodes. Here's the official synopsis of the series. This is the story of an orphan, Lu Shu. He is not any regular orphan, but a meta-human experiencing the changes in himself. Hey, kind of sounds a little... his country and the world during the dawn of the magical era. Watch as Lu Shu embarks on a journey to hone his peculiar abilities together with his sister, the adorable and charismatic Lu Xiaoyu. Along the way, they'll encounter supernatural events, obstacles, and even the most powerful people in their country. How will Lu Shu make the best of his abilities and oust his never-ending list of rivals and opponents? Unfortunately, there's no official way to watch the series with subtitles. However, there's many fan subs available online. And I'll be honest with you, well, aside from the fact that this is absolutely ridiculous because the entirety of China has banned Attack on Titan to my knowledge, unless they did an unban or whatever. So the fact that they're getting access to this, it's kind of crazy almost. It's like they're aiding and abetting copyright infringement if you think about it, the entire nation, because like, so you're allowing a ripoff, so to speak, of Attack on Titan's character Eren Yeager to exist in the country, but the entire series itself can't be in the, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But I will say, aside from that, because I've been opening up to experiencing and enjoying different mediums as of late, because you already know it's anime manga for life. That's never gonna change. But I ain't gonna lie, based off a lot of things that I've been hearing lately, like, you know, the creator of Gundam talking about China and their animation and how it's going up and all this other stuff, I wouldn't mind checking it out. That's not to say that I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, Attack on Titan ripoff or Eren Yeager ripoff for the win or anything like that. But I wouldn't mind seeing what's going on over there in China with their animation and stuff like that. Looks anime-esque. And when I started watching it and experiencing other mediums and stuff like that, it's always interesting and fascinating to see how they do storytelling. I'm very much so on the ground level and understanding how usually an anime or manga from Japan starts. That's why if it's something that really blows my mind, I'm usually like, holy cow, I didn't expect this to, you know, happen this way. But like, I've noticed with different mediums, they take different approaches from, like, you know, different countries and whatnot on how they do storytelling. So I wouldn't mind checking out a Chinese animation. I just don't know, could I even respect if it really just is dead on the nose of like, yo, that's Eren Yeager all day? Could I respect that? I don't know. But either way, yeah, according to the murmurings online, Attack on Titan's Eren Yeager is in China now, and he's a whole different character. Like, what are we doing here, people? Okay, people, next up, first of all, I want to clarify something from a previous episode where we were discussing some comic book related stuff. My bad, I messed up on the whole Batgirl being a part of the Batman film that's coming out with Robert Pattinson. Yeah, that was totally an error on my behalf. She's not going to be a part of that. There's something totally different going on, a different Batman and all that jazz. So I goofed on that. Forgive me. I'm not the most averse when it comes to understanding everything about comic books and what's going on. There's a lot out there, and I'm just now starting to get back into the whole swing of things when it comes to that. But I still want to talk about and report on comic book related stuff, like we talk about Invincible over here. We talk about a few different comic book related shows and whatnot. And I want to once again talk about the Batman film, the actual one, not the one that I was mixing up and saying, hey, Batgirl's involved. Like, no, that's not happening. But Robert Pattinson's The Batman, apparently it's going to be like the longest Batman film ever, and I'm partially excited because realistically speaking, if you take away the Justice League stuff and all of that other things, we haven't had a full-on new Batman film in a long time. So it'll be a nice treat to be able to spend a long time in Gotham City with the Cape Crusader. And I totally sounded like a synopsis or some shit like that. Yes, we're spending a long time in Gotham City with the Cape Crusader. Okay, let's read what's going on. The Batman will be one of the longest comic book movies ever. The Batman's runtime has finally been revealed at a lengthy 167 minutes without credits. Audiences will get to spend nearly 3 hours in Gotham City with Robert Pattinson's Cape Crusader. When Matt Reeves' The Batman opened in theaters March 4th, comic book movie fans will be able to spend nearly 3 hours in Gotham City with Robert Pattinson's Cape Crusader. The official runtime for The Batman is a whopping 2 hours and 47 minutes. That does sound quite long. Pause. Variety has confirmed with a source close to the film. At 167 minutes without credits, The Batman is set to be one of the longest comic book tentpoles ever. Only Avengers Endgame at 181 minutes and Zack Snyder's Justice League 242 minutes run longer. The Batman finds Robert Pattinson following in the footsteps of Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and more by taking over the role of Bruce Wayne on the big screen. Pattinson stars opposite Zoe Kravitz as Selena Kyle Catwoman, Paul Dano as Edward Nashton, aka the Riddler, and Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, John Turturro as Carmine Falcon, Peter Sarsgaard as Gil Coulson, Andy Serkis as Alfred Pennyworth, and Colin Farrell as Oswald Cobblepot, aka Penguin. Reactions to the Batman trailers have compared Reeves' vision to the dark crime atmosphere of David Finch's films, and a 167-minute runtime would imply Reeves is taking the slow burn detective route. The Batman runs longer than Finch's own crime opus, Zodiac, at 157 minutes. The movie is also longer than the recent lengthy tentpole and James Bond blockbuster, No Time to Die, and edges out the runtime of Christopher Nolan's longest Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, at 165 minutes. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm massively excited, just like many people around the world. I love Batman. He's one of my favorite Western superheroes, and just in general, he's amazing. And again, I was a little bit apprehensive, like I've said before, regarding Robert Pattinson. Really, dog? Robert Pattinson? But I'm open-minded. The trailer looks dope, and I think they could get it done. Especially it's going like a dark detective route. I love detective stories. I'm a massive Detective Conan fan. That shit is in my blood, dog. Like, I love stories like that. So, yeah, this might be... It could go down to be one of my favorite Batman. I don't know if we'll ever top The Dark Knight, you know. that second film with the Joker and all that stuff. That was incredible. But this could very well go down. Like, it has potential at the very least to go down as one of my favorites, because I love the detective side of Batman. It's like early Batman the animated series stuff where it's just Batman rolling, going through the crazies and whatnot of Gotham City. Let's go, baby. This is exciting. Okay, people, next up we're going to talk about the top 50 best-selling manga of the week, including a couple of slides. And what I mean by that is downturns, downslides for a few different series. And all of this info is courtesy of Jos_Ke over on Twitter. Always appreciate him for providing such really interesting info, because I love talking about this stuff. But yeah, so we got the top 50 best-selling manga, and off rip, very interestingly enough, One Piece coming in at number 50 with 18,063 copies. Pretty much it will be out of the top 50 by the next week, unless something major happens, with 1.632 million copies. And I don't like to harp on this stuff because people take it offensive when I'm just speaking facts. One Piece is one of my favorite stories. One Piece is one of the greatest manga ever written. Y'all know how I feel about that, but people can't take logical breakdowns, mathematical and all that jazz as anything other than hate when it's not in favor of them. But realistically speaking, you can see the impact, and I think you could even argue damage to a certain degree the length of Wano has done to One Piece, because prior to Wano, we was always just, we were cooking, fam. Like, volume sales wasn't steadily increasing or anything like that, but Wano being so long, I think, is the biggest problem as to why sales are like this. Like, we haven't cleared 2 million before leaving the top 50. Kind of makes you look a little bit like, damn, like, especially with all the promo, episode 1000, volume 100, chapter 1000, with all that promo that Shueisha pushed behind it, for it to be at 1.6 and leaving the top 50, definitely you can see that Wano, and that's probably why it looks like it's starting to wrap itself up, because yeah, One Piece, like, it's starting to dip in sales to a point where, imagine we get to a point where One Piece doesn't even crack 1 million. Like, that would be very eye-opening for the fandom. So yeah, definitely interesting to note that One Piece 1.6 million at 50, about to leave. Then we got Blue Box Volume 3 with 18,000 this week, bringing its total in 13 days to 91,000. That's definitely the new sports/romance story for Jump, flagship title of those genres, I guess. I don't know really sports per se, because it doesn't really exude like, yo, that's Haikyuu, dog. But like, yeah, 91,000. Okay, cool. That's gonna be around for a while. That's like Nisekoi-esque territory. Then shooting up, number 44, Boruto Volume 16 with only 21,814 copies in its second week, bringing its total to 95,220 copies. And as pointed out by a very hardcore Boruto fan over on Twitter, Abdul Zoldak, he said himself, Boruto Volume 16 did not perform very well in the second week of Oricon, only managing to sell 21,814 copies, making the total for both weeks 95,220. Both Volume 14 and 15 managed to crack the 100K mark in the second week. So yeah, you can see that there's a steady decline in the Boruto sales, and it's disheartening to hear as somebody that I've been championing Boruto since like 2017, 2018, whenever like Kara really started to begin. I want to say, I always remember for some reason around like chapter 18 is where I was really like, holy shit. So somewhere around there up until now, I've been championing it. So to see that it's going down this route, I think it's kind of lining up perfectly now that they're slowly thrusting us into this next chapter of the story. And I don't mean like next chapter like 67. I mean like that it's looking like we're going into that older Boruto era, the time skip era and stuff like that. That way they can hopefully, again, I got to keep on stressing, do a rebrand. Because if they don't do a rebrand, here's what's going to happen. The time skip is going to be very short-lived. It's not going to last that long, because if sales are continuing to dip now, how much longer can we go without them saying, yo, we got to pull the plug, dog. Sales of the manga just aren't all that. Now, granted, the anime is a whole different animal in and of itself. I think the anime still does pretty well, but yeah, I think a rebrand, even if it's the opposite, even if it's the manga rebrands and the anime stays the same, something needs to give in order to really shake things up, because this is the first volume since, at the very least, 13 to not crack 100,000 in its second week. So yeah, Boruto definitely on the decline, and it's unfortunate, man. Look at that volume cover, dog. I need that. Then we got volumes 40 through 31. Let's see here. We got Darwin's Game with 25,000 this week. And then a whole bunch of Jujutsu Kaisen, volume 6, 5, 7, 4, 3. Then it gets broken up from Mystery Lunakare. Then it goes to Jujutsu Kaisen. Oh my god, Jujutsu Kaisen just dominating again. That Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0 doing wonders. And one of the things why I always stress too that I'm very excited when I see volume sales do very well for a series is in particular that from what I've heard throughout the years, mangaka, their biggest bread and butter of money is volume sales. Like, that's where they make their most bread. So when I see volumes doing well, I'm like, yes, Gege Akutami is getting what they deserve. Yes, yes. So that's why I say that. I'm excited to see all these Jujutsu Kaisen volumes doing well because they only get like a small payment for like, hey, we want to license your story to do a film. Here's like, I don't know, 25,000, 50,000, boom, and then they don't see shit else until like their volume sales. 30 through 21, and this is a series that we spoke about last week, not doing the hottest, so to speak. However, this week it actually picked up and is doing better than its previous volume second week. We got Black Clover doing 27,295, bringing its total to 122,272 copies sold in total for this volume. And Black Clover, with its previous volume, in 2 weeks it had did 137,000, and this one in 2 weeks has done 122,000. So while it's still a little bit of a dip, its second week did better than its previous volume second week. The second week for the previous volume did like 22, 23. This one did 27. So it's in the ballpark. It's not really a big dip as I had previously thought. Like, yeah, the first volume was definitely a dip and there's still a decline there, but it's not as bad as like Boruto not even being able to crack 100K in 2 weeks time, considering like, dog, you got that Naruto word in there. You know what I'm saying? You still got people that care and whatnot. So definitely something interesting to note, but I'm going to continue to shout out and support both series because I want to see both series win. Like, they're two of my favorites that I really enjoy talking about each and every week. Well, Boruto is monthly, but you get what I'm saying. And yeah, Black Clover, a little bit of a decline in total, but still on the ballpark, not too bad at all. And I'm just happy to see it because, yo, that volume cover just looks so dope with Yuno and Longer, especially Yuno with that form. Oh my god, although it's a big spoiler. Then we got Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 1 at 29 with another 27,000, 2.7 million. Let's freaking go. Then going up, more Jujutsu Kaisen from 24 to 21. God damn. Then we got places 20 through 11. More Mystery to Lunakare. Then Jujutsu Kaisen. We got Tokyo Revengers at 15 with volume 25. 32,000, bringing its total. It finally cracked 900K. That'll hit. I still got to say, I think that's going to hit 1 million before it leaves the top 50. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But yeah, dope stuff there. Then let's jump over to top 10. Just god damn, this is like Jujutsu Kaisen Island or some shit. Just more Jujutsu, like number 9 Jujutsu Kaisen, number 8 Jujutsu Kaisen 0, which that is a very, I want to say, does it say right here when it was released? I want to say this volume was released like in, yeah, 2018 this volume was released, and the fact that it's doing numbers now, that movie, dog, 2.7 million copies. I think, I want to say volume 0 is almost, if not more, right around the same point as volume 1. What was volume 1 selling? Volume 1 has sold 2.74, and volume 0 has sold, oh my god, volume 0 has sold more than volume 1. That's crazy, because it's not even the same freaking main character. Like, nuts. We got at number 5, Dr. Stone, volume 24, with 39,000, bringing its total 171,000. Man, I can't wait for more Dr. Stone anime. Whatever they got dropping, that little special thing in the summertime, I'm watching it, because it's going to be a long stretch for the next one, and Dr. Stone is ending soon, so yeah. Then we got Marimashita Iruma-kun with 49,000, bringing its total to 104. That's a pretty big one. I've been wanting to check that one out, to be honest with you. Then at number 1 and number 2, dog. What? Top 5, and it ain't 3, 4, 5, baby. It's 1 and 2. Jujutsu Kaisen, volume 17 and 18, occupying the 2 top spots. 55,000 for volume 17 and 122,000 for volume 18. God damn, baby. Shoutouts to Gege. I hope you're eating well. I hope you're getting money off of all of this, because this is insane. 1.9 mil, 1.5 mil. God damn. Hold on. Clap it up. Gotta do it for the one time for the GOAT, Gege Akutami. This is crazy. And yeah, people, those were the manga sales for the top 50 bestsellers of the week. Interesting stuff all around. Boruto, Black Clover, Jujutsu Kaisen. A lot of stuff to talk about. Okay, people, next up, something I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bit excited about, because we don't get that often, like JoJo related video game stuff like that. We get here and there a console one every few years, but we got JoJo's mobile game that I'm kind of excited about. It says here, K-Lab to distribute JoJo's Bizarre Adventure mobile game worldwide. K-Lab announced on Thursday that it has acquired the rights to distribute Shanghai-based Shengyu Games' upcoming mobile game based on the anime adaptation of Hirohiko Araki's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga worldwide outside of Japan. Shengyu Games had announced in August 2020 that the game would launch in mainland China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. The companies have launched a website for the game. And yeah, I'm not really familiar with what this game is all about, but a JoJo's game, if it's dope, can be really freaking awesome. I love JoJo's. I want to play a JoJo's game. It's been a little minute. Okay, people, next up we got the weekly Shonen Jump author comments. Let's take a look. We got Hajime Komodo from Martial Magic and Muscles. Thanks to my astigmatism, I'm seeing so many McDonald's french fries. Yes. I feel so bad for dude, man. The health issues is no joke, dog. Shoutouts to Hajime Komodo and Marshall. Then we got Sakamoto Days, Yuto Suzuki. I'm addicted to gummies right now. It's probably because I couldn't eat them when I was a kid due to cavities. Alright there, Sakamoto, relax. Then we got Doran Dororan by Gen Osuka. My family is full of people born in January. Our family line group is really lively right now. Happy birthday, everyone. Yeah, that kind of sounds conflicting because like, yo, you got to go through Thanksgiving, then Christmas, and then you think you're done, and oh no, we got the January birthday month. I don't know how I'd feel about that, to be honest with you. That's a bit much for me. Then we got Ayashimon Yuji Kaku. I can't come up with good comments for this section no matter how hard I try. What do I do? Didn't you say that it was going to be like a vow of like, yo, I'm gonna nail it, dog. I'm gonna be doing shit every week. I got some comments like, dog, just talk about your manga, talk about your life. I don't know if you got a stomach ache, you gotta take a dump, say whatever, dog. You know what I'm saying? We got Jujutsu Kaisen, Gege Akutami, and this kind of made a little bit of a stir. I've seen some people speculating regarding Yuji in particular. If there's no buoyancy or resistance, then why do air bubbles occur? That's a good question. That's because Yuji is evolving, dog. Like, very, very interesting stuff there, Gege. Well, you could tell that they're researching very heavily into where to take it next with Yuji and stuff like that, but that's for a different one. I don't want to get into spoilers and whatnot, but shoutouts to Gege Akutami. It looks like it might be Gege's year as well. Like, it was their year last year. They were #1 highest selling manga. Might be the same this year. I don't know. Then we got My Hero Academia, Kohei Horikoshi. My room is buried in papers, so I had planned to do a major cleaning to start the year. Yeah, dog, clean out. I just actually, I can't even see, but right here, I had like 100 million anime-related things just stuffed there. It was just really messy. Cleaned it all out, put it all back there. Again, you can't see nothing the way I got this set up, but yeah, I did a massive cleaning. Do the same, Kohei. You got this, dog. You ending your manga this year, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna reach your goals, right? Then we got Riichiro Inagaki from Dr. Stone. It's crazy that humanity made it to the moon over 50 years ago without even internet. And apparently they even did that with calculator technology, and they can't recreate the technology to go to the moon anymore. It's going to take a while. So yeah, there's that. Forever World, what are you doing? Are you trying to say some conspiracy theories, dog? Like, what are you trying to say? I'm trying to say, let's go to the next comment. Because to wrap things up, we got the ever so infamous, and this is also very interesting. I had a meeting at Shueisha for the first time in forever and ordered the yuzu juice I used to get. Delicious memories of the past. Interesting. So he had a meeting at Shueisha for the first time in forever. Shueisha is going to bring you in because either something big is happening. Now, I'd imagine if it was, let's just say, for example, worst case scenario, they bringing him in, yo, we're canceling you. I don't think he would need to go to Shueisha for that. I think the editorial department at Jump would have a conversation like, yo, dog, let's wrap it up, man. Let's get out of here already. We want it done or whatnot. So I'm not sure if that would be a Shueisha meeting per se. If it's a Shueisha meeting, it might be to do with the Black Clover movie. Maybe they brought him in like, yo, we want your ideas. We want some character designs for this particular portion of the film. Can you help us? So that's what I'm hoping for. Fingers crossed that they're bringing in Tabata to help out with the film, which would make it even 10 times better because it's his baby to begin with. So that's what I'm going to hope for regarding why he's going into the office of Shueisha to begin with. But yeah, people, those were the weekly Shonen Jump author comments. Very interesting stuff, especially with Tabata and Gege Akutami. And I guess Yuto Suzuki's gummy obsession. Why not? Okay, people, and last story of the episode, just an update of sales for two of the biggest series that the creator of Fairy Tail has made, Hiro Mashima, Fairy Tail, and Rave Master. According to this, Rave by Hiro Mashima, which in Japan it was called Rave, not Rave Master, has 23.5 million copies in circulation for the entire series, which was 35 volumes, and Fairy Tail, which has 72 million copies in circulation for 63 volumes. Wow, I didn't realize that Fairy Tail was that much longer than Rave Master. Rave Master was 35, Fairy Tail was 63. 63 volumes. Jesus, man. And I was there for majority of it. Like, well, no, I'm lying. I caught up before the Grand Magic games. I want to say I caught up around the Acnologia stuff. So yeah, I'm a fraud saying I was there for everything, but I was watching it for a while until I got to that point, okay? But I wasn't caught up per se for everything. God damn it. And in fact, fun fact, Fairy Tail was one of the anime when I was really starting to get into understanding what anime is that I was actually going to check out. Like, I remember it was like 2010-ish. I was like, yo, I want to check out some of the newer anime. Like, I'm watching a whole bunch of old shit right now, but like, yo, what's some of the newer stuff? And I remember it was like High School of the Dead and Fairy Tail. And at the time, I went with High School of the Dead because I was like, it's only 12 episodes. And Fairy Tail at that time had like 20-something episodes, and it was ongoing. So I was like, I'll check out that Fairy Tail in a bit. Probably maybe few months later I got into Fairy Tail. But yeah, a little bit of history for my Fairy Tail adventure, and shout outs to Hiro Mashima because 23.5 million and 72 million, that's almost 100 million copies off of his two biggest titles. And I'm sure when you add Eden Zero in there, he's probably cracked 100 mil, right? And first story of the episode, I told you guys I would let you guys know, and it is finally official. Unfortunately, it's not necessarily when we would have hoped for, but at the end of the day, yeah, as a matter of fact, let me tell you what I'm talking about. We've got the official release date for the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero film coming to the West, to North America. Y'all know I've been highly anticipating this. I ain't gonna lie. My niece and nephew, as soon as I get off this video, I'm gonna hit them up like, yo, you gotta watch Jujutsu Kaisen, okay? Like, you gotta watch Jujutsu Kaisen so we could go watch this movie together, alright? As a matter of fact, I think my niece already seen it. Never mind. I think my nephew, I gotta be like, yo, put Naruto down for a second, because he's watching Naruto right now, and go watch Jujutsu Kaisen. You'll understand and thank me later, okay? But yes, we finally got the release date, and initially we thought it was going to be February. A lot of rumors were speculating like, oh, maybe in February. I was hopeful for February. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit after that, not too much, because again, it's actually still playing in theaters in Japan right now, so they can't, coincide. They like to have their exclusive, Japan gets it first and then the rest of the world gets it. Fine by me or whatever. I just want to get it, and we're about to get it. Let's read. Jujutsu Kaisen anime film opens in US and Canada in March. Crunchyroll announced on Tuesday that the Jujutsu Kaisen anime film will open with English subtitles and with an English dub in the US and Canada on March 18th. The film will launch in over 1,500 theaters as well as in IMAX theaters, and tickets will go on sale. This is important, people, because these anime films, oftentimes you will be screwed and won't be able to go and watch the movie you want to see. I've had it happen to me before. I forget what Naruto movie it was. Was it The Last, or I forget. It was one of the Naruto films. I was so upset. I was like, what do you mean there's no more tickets? Like, I'm trying to get in. Sir, yo, I'm getting in there. I'm for Neverworld, man. You don't know who I am? But tickets will go on sale on February 25th. The company streamed an English subtitled trailer, so they already got the trailer and everything. That means they got the rights. And the movie is also coming soon to theaters in the UK, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, France with CRG events, Germany, Belgium, Luxembourg, Austria, Switzerland, Sweden, Finland, Netherlands, French-speaking Africa, and Latin America. Additional territories will be announced at a later date, so everybody's getting this film. But yeah, we're getting it on March 18th with a February 25th ticket release date where you'll be able to get the tickets. And again, I'm going to encourage you, look around that time. I will remind you guys around that time as well, so you could get your tickets in. Probably I'll already have ordered mine just to make sure y'all don't beat me out to it. I'm just saying, I love anime as much as you guys, alright? Can I have a little bit of a head start? I'm the news guy. You know what I'm saying? I'll break the news as soon as I get my order in. But yeah, people, March 18th, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero film will be in theaters. Mark your calendars. I know a lot of you guys are going to be going. I'm going. And of course, February 25th, you will be able to order your tickets. Let's go, baby. Let's get into our domains. That was a corny way to end this one, but you gotta roll with the punches. Let's get to the next story. Moving forward, something none of us seen coming, but it's to be expected because this creator really be on that next level vibe, grinding, always hustling, always with the next thing, from video games to manga to back-to-back manga, working on anime. Like, this man is a monster, a machine, and who I'm referring to is Hiro Mashima, creator of Fairy Tail. Now you're asking, yo, Fornev, What do you do now? Like, what possibly, like, is he running for freaking mayor? Like, what did Hiro do? Well, Hiro Mashima, aka @_Mashima, a popular manga artist who is also known as a Call of Duty fan, has made Call of Duty Vanguard into a manga, what is unknown past Polina, the strongest female sniper. And the cover, it says Polina Petrova. I'm not a Call of Duty fan, so I don't know. Is this one of the main characters of that video game, I'm assuming? And it just looks freaking amazing. I love Hiro Mashima's art, always have. Then you see one page there. It's like a bunch of people in a classroom. It's like a girl falling asleep, probably like she's having a dream of playing Call of Duty or something, I'm imagining. And oh my god, next page, yo, the art, man. Hiro Mashima, he never fails with the art, man, and these pages look dope. And yeah, Hiro Mashima with a Call of Duty Vanguard manga. Honestly, I love to see it, I guess. I love to see it from a different aspect. Again, I'm not a COD fan. I've said it on multiple occasions, whether it be the Attack on Titan DLC or something like that. That's just not my stilo. I'm an anime fighter game, or just in general, like adventure RPGs, JRPGs. Like, that's kind of more of my bag, but that looks really dope. And above all else, I just so much admire the passion, the hustle. I feel like Hiro Mashima really wants to make it and become something just bigger than even being like a legendary manga artist. Because at this point, love him or hate him, he's created hit upon hit. Rave Master, hit. Fairy Tail, mega hits. Eden Zero starting to become a hit, and the anime is very well loved and received over on Netflix. And he's done so many other countless things. He got Fairy Tail 100 Quest getting an anime. Like, this dude is always on the grind and hustle, and I've said it so many different times. But if that don't inspire you, what will? The fact that this guy, that y'all know the conditions of being a mangaka. I've told you many times throughout the years that they break their backs 20 hours a day. So imagine, amongst all of that, he's hiring a whole bunch of staff to help him get through all of that, and then he's designing video games. He's designing other people's video games, mobile game, like, just so many different things. This is a legend right here. Love him or hate him, it's Hiro Mashima, baby. Salute, dog. You know what I'm saying? FORNEVER World merch coming soon, baby. But yeah, Hiro Mashima, legend. Also, I just noticed that was like army fatigue, kind of goes with Call of Duty and shit like that, even though I don't rock with Call of Duty. I don't know, FORNEV Call of Duty merch. Next story, let's get there. Because moving forward is something that I'm sure a few people will be excited about. I know I'm very excited about it. I've told you guys on multiple occasions that I am really looking forward to this. But apparently, the Rumbling Full Size by Sim, the Rumbling, aka the latest song from Attack on Titan, the opening and whatnot, you know, that kind of metal, but also at the same time just so melodically beautiful song. The full version will be released February 7th, 2022. Shout outs to my guys at Plot Armor for linking me this shit, because I was so freaking excited. In case you don't know, I freaking love and adore that song every freaking time I go and I sing along with it. If I lose it all, slip and fall, something, yeah. And the lyrics are easy, but I suck sometimes at doing this. Yeah, no, hey. But yeah, for people that were excited or looking forward to the full version of the song, which sometimes it can be hit or miss. In case you don't know, oftentimes there's a lot of anime opening songs that the TV version, they clip out and put the best parts of it, but then when you hear the full extent, it's like, wait, the song did what? It turns into, oh, no, just give me back the TV version. So if the song goes that way and it just goes full screamo for the other half of it, I think I'm gonna be good. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of the screaming and all that stuff. Like, I can accept it and tolerate it, because sometimes you get in the vibe too. You just want to yell like, ah, and shit like that. So I totally can rock with it for like a minute and a half of it being here and there. But if the rest of the song, if it's like a 4-minute song and the remainder of the song is just, Sim, y'all can keep that one. I will continue on with the TV version. But yeah, people, just wanted to bring this one to you guys' attention. I'm excited. I can't freaking wait. I hope they put it on Spotify and all streaming platforms where you can also stream my podcast, FORNEVER News. I'm just saying, full episodes every Saturday. Yeah, it's coming February 7th. Yay. Okay, people, next up is something that I've been really intrigued in covering every time I can get my hands on this type of information. I usually like to discuss it because it's over here on the soil that we stand on here in the North. The North really remembers, mate. The U.S. manga sales, and I know there's more to the North than just U.S. I get it. It's a joke. But some U.S. manga sales for the week of January 9th through the 15th, and shout outs to Yellowstone for this information. And it was just really 3 manga that did some sales and whatnot. But it is interesting to take a look at, okay, so what is going on in the U.S. manga market? So, for example, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Stories of Water and Flame, which is a spin-off manga, but y'all know Demon Slayer is tearing it up. It was released on the 4th, right? So in its first week, because it has a total of 39,295, and that week it did 12,212 copies. So that means in its first week it did what, about 27,000 copies, if my math is correct. I might be totally off. Sometimes I'd be bugging out. But so a Demon Slayer manga, one of the hottest ones out right now, did 27,000 in its first week, and in its second week it did 12,000. So it's almost at 40,000 in 2 weeks. Again, for like a manga title, that's not the biggest splash in the world, but I know that these numbers come a long way. I always tell the story of I was shocked and appalled and I couldn't believe it, and I think a lot of it was due to poor marketing and a speed up and just in general. At the time, manga wasn't where it's at right now. Visibility wasn't where it's at right now, because a giant title like Bleach never should do 500 copies in its first week with a new volume. Never. But also at that time, the scans and everybody that read up to date was like hundreds of chapters ahead of the official North American releases. So there's also that to factor in, and then just a whole bunch of other stuff. But I'll never forget when I saw it, I was like, 500 copies? What the hell? What is going on? It was like 2 Bleach volumes. One of them did like 1,200 in its first week, and one of them did 500. And I was just like, oh my god, is that what U.S. manga sells or whatnot? These numbers are very different, and again, that just is very telling of the North American manga market and how much bigger things have gotten. And salute to Demon Slayer doing 40,000 in 2 weeks. That's not bad at all. Then Dragon Ball Super, on the other hand, in its second week, essentially did 4,321 copies with a total of 14,566. So it did about 10,000 copies in its first week for Dragon Ball Super. I'm not sure if that's good or bad for Dragon Ball, considering it's manga in North America. Dragon Ball, you know, it's an anime thing. People love Dragon Ball Z, and now I guess Super for the anime. They're not the biggest manga fans. Most people that are Dragon Ball fans, they try to avoid the manga. They were like, no, whenever the anime comes, I'm gonna go, but I don't really care. Well, if that 3D CG happens, you gonna be caring then, huh? And then lastly, Chainsaw Man with 65,888 copies total, and that week it did 4,000, and this volume came out back in April. Chainsaw Man Volume 2 back in April, and doing another 4,000, bringing us total to 65,000. So you can see that manga, for the most part, they do, it looks in the range of like, well, I don't know what that Demon Slayer volume is going to continue doing, but it seems like it's in the range of like probably 60, 50,000, maybe 100,000, just depends on the title and whatnot. My Hero Academia is way bigger than pretty much all these titles in the West. Again, I've said it before, in 2020, My Hero was the biggest, highest selling US manga that released, and 2020 was a massive year for manga due to the pandemic, everybody being home, ordering volumes and whatnot. But yeah, very interesting. I ain't gonna lie. I hope I could get my hands on more of this, because, and if you guys want to see more of this, definitely let me know. Gives us insight into, okay, we have the illusion of Japan, you know what I'm saying? One Piece, 1.6 million, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen, 2 million first print run. But in the US, it's a little bit of a different story, but still fascinating nonetheless. Okay, people, next up, this is something that I believe every creator, or most creators at the very least, that create comics and manga, and, you know, they imagine these characters and create these worlds and all that jazz, dream of someday happening and getting this type of recognition for their work. This is an artist's dream, and what I'm referring to is the fact that Eiichiro Oda, yet again with his One Piece, has been cemented with life-size statues over there in Japan. There's a ton of them everywhere, but now they did one for the GOAT, arguably one of the fan favorite characters of One Piece, Roronoa Zoro. He got a statue. Let's read the article, because this shit is unfathomable for artists, for creative. This is something that is like, Yo, dog, I wish, I dream, hopefully one day. One Piece Zoro statue erected in series creator's hometown. The new statue was officially unveiled on January 21st in Ozu Park, which is located in Kumamoto Prefecture, Japan. The statue features a Straw Hat Pirate utilizing his unique three-sword style with a katana in each hand and another clenched between his teeth. The new attraction is based on the character's post-time skip appearance and features numerous small details such as the stitches on his chest. The bronze figure's unveiling was streamed to YouTube in a ceremony that featured live music and dance performances from the area's residents. The new statue is a part of a tourism campaign being backed by series creator Eiichiro Oda, One Piece's publisher Shueisha, and the local Kumamoto government in order to promote tourism in the area. Oda was born in Kumamoto, the capital city of the prefecture, in 1975. Located on the southern island of Kyushu, the area is known for Mount Aso, one of the Mount Aso. Okay, I'm so immature sometimes. One of the world's largest active volcanoes and its numerous historical castles and shrines. In 2016, the region was devastated by a deadly earthquake. Oda and the local government in the area have since erected a number of One Piece statues in order to revitalize the local economy and encourage tourists to return. The Zoro statue is the 9th in the series, following a bronze figure of the Straw Hat Pirates navigator Nami, which was unveiled in 2021. The campaign is expected to end with the unveiling of a 10th sculpture, which will be based on the helmsman Jinbei. And just taking a look at this statue, it looks amazing. They got like a drawing from Eiichiro Oda of Zoro himself. It'd be funny if like, yo, well, it wouldn't be funny, but imagine like 1,000 years from now, people look back and this actually becomes like historical value in terms of like people legit think like this dude existed or some shit. That's a possibility. You never freaking know when people rewrite history. All of a sudden, Roronoa Zoro from One Piece becomes like, yo, he was a part of this crew and they sailed the world and he changed the world or some shit. You just never freaking know. And then also this image right here of all of the other Straw Hat statues. Again, you got Nami looking scrumptious. You got Usopp, God, Usopp baby, Chopper sitting on a chair to make him a little bit taller. Of course, again, the Zoro one, Luffy one. Oh my god, that shit looks epic. Sanji, Robin, woo, Robin Chuan, Nami Swan, Frankie, very super there. And of course, Bad to the Bone, Rock and Roll, Brooke. And man, I ain't gonna lie, I would love to have one of these bad boys. I seen another creator, Dude in a Room. Dude had it. Really freaking awesome stuff, man. I want to get me a statue of one of these someday. Maybe I have like one of like each of the iconics, like a Luffy, a Naruto, Ichigo, Goku. Like just have a whole big freaking. Oh my god, I'm an artist at heart, dog. I could think of exactly how to structure it and make the. But yeah, people. Oda once again doing the unthinkable and getting One Piece statues erected around Japan in honor of, you know, just how awesome the series is, and of course to bring in tourism. Okay, people, next up, something that was announced quite some time ago is finally coming to fruition, and that's that Shenmue, the animation based off of the notoriously popular video games, is finally coming. The anime for Shenmue is finally happening. It says here, Shenmue the animation, an Adult Swim and Crunchyroll original, begins February 5th. So I did not know, or maybe I just, it's been so long I don't really remember. I thought it was just strictly Adult Swim, but apparently it's in collaboration with Crunchyroll, which I wonder how that works. Like, does Crunchyroll just get the exclusive streaming rights, and how long does it take for them to put on an episode on there after Adult Swim airs them? Because, you know, that'll be a conflict of interest, so that's going to be interesting to note. But either way, February 5th, and I ain't gonna lie, I took a peek at the trailer. Animation looks solid, voice acting sounds really dramatic, action looks pretty cool. I was never that deep into Shenmue, but this looks like something dope, and I think that existing Shenmue fans of the actual video games and whatnot probably are going to be intrigued. And I think also from the trailer, I could be totally misled, I could be led astray and bamboozled and all of that jazz, but I think it looks like something that at the very least potentially people that aren't into Shenmue can also indulge in, because yeah, that trailer looked kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie, it looked like, whoa, it gave me a vibe of, I don't know, like a really dark art style in a way. And just in general, I'm kind of hype. And again, I'm not a Shenmue fan like that, I'm not a fanatic of it by any means, but it kind of looks pretty good. And yeah, one more time, Shenmue the animation, and Adult Swim and Crunchyroll original, February 5th. Hype at 12:30 a.m. I believe that's EST. So yeah, that's gonna be dope. Okay, people, next up, very, very big news. A lot of people, I'm sure, are on their toes about this one because we've been reporting it as the updates have been coming in via the mangaka and just in general the status of this, because it's been, I want to say now we're going on almost 2 years since it was announced that the series was going into its climax, into its final arc, and all of that good stuff as we've been approaching towards its end. But it finally has happened. It finally arrived, the time for the series to end. According to this, it says the final chapter of Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo is finished and submitted, which means, because a lot of people are going to be like, so what, next week is the final chapter? No, it means that the mangaka has already handed in his final chapter. That's it. All he probably has to do is like maybe like marketing stuff and like promotional art and stuff. But in terms of his job of writing the manga, unless there's like a spin-off, unless there's like a something after the fact, maybe an epilogue, which I don't think either of them are happening. Maybe an epilogue could happen, but yeah, Atsushi Okubo has expressed on numerous occasions, I'm done. No more manga for me, fam. I'm good. So I don't see like a big spin-off happening, any continuation of any sorts. The only big thing that I'm hoping is an anime continuation. The fans deserve it. It had 2 seasons. A lot of people love it. Yeah, finish it off. I don't know if it needs a 3rd and 4th season or just a 3rd season, but either way, yeah, it needs to be concluded anime-wise, because that would be real lame to just leave the fans high and dry after there's been a lot of commotion about Fire Force. I was there for the beginnings. I reviewed, I want to say, like the first 3 episodes or something like that. But yeah, Atsushi Okubo has handed in the final chapter of Fire Force, so no matter what you expect, no matter what it is set in stone at this particular point. And it's kind of sad, because I remember it was what, a few weeks ago now, that it was said that it was about 2 volumes left of material that was in the can, and since the final chapter has been handed in, again, it won't pass by any means summertime. Like, summertime is out the window at this point. Probably, I'm guessing about April-ish or May at the latest, it'll be done. But yeah, it's not going to go any further. Fire Force, he has handed in the final chapter. And again, I just feel bad for the fans, because it's always, no matter what, a sad thing when the manga ends. Yes, it could have a great conclusion and everybody could be satisfied regardless, and all good things must come to an end regardless. I completely understand that. Nevertheless, for me personally, like, I'll never forget with Yu Yu Hakusho. If you don't know about it, go watch it. Incredible. One of my favorite shonen anime. One of the things that my name is somewhat loosely based off of, FORNEVER world. Yeah, when I would finish that anime back in the day, I'll never forget, I always felt like I was saying goodbye to a friend, and I would get really, really sad and be like, well, time to rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho. And I kind of feel like, I'm sure Fire Force fans are going to feel that way, of time to reread Fire Force or rewatch the anime or whatever, because there's just so much life to these characters, and it's just such a fun and wacky adventure. And you know, it's from the same creator as Soul Eater, and Soul Eater was a fun, lighthearted, wacky adventure, although it gets darker and Fire Force gets very dark. I mean, people are getting set on fire or whatnot, but yeah, as warned for quite some time, Fire Force final chapter has been submitted. It's only a matter of time now, maybe a couple months at best, until it's over. And yeah, I guess enjoy this while you can, because once it ends, you will feel it. And I gotta ask the question again, as of where it stands right now, has everything for the most part been answered? All of your questions been answered? All of the plot threads been solved and whatnot for Fire Force? Is there anything you think they can't accomplish in this short amount of time that is left, considering the final chapter has been 100% submitted in? And are you satisfied with everything that Fire Force has delivered? Again, I'm going to get back and finish the anime. Well, I gotta finish, I think, like the last couple episodes of season 1, and then go straight through season 2, and hopefully they do a season 3 again. I gotta stress that, because it really sucks when they leave anime only fans off to like, well, go read the manga now, guys. But yeah, people, the final chapter of Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo has been submitted. It is a done deal. It is ending within the next couple months, 100% for sure. Okay, people, and last story or stories of the episode, it is regarding Naruto Shinobi, or what is it, Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strikers? Either way, for starters, it says here, Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker has shipped 3 million copies. Yay! I've expressed on numerous occasions, I'm not the biggest fan of this game, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, if I had to choose this or Naruto Storm, 10 times out of 10, maybe we're gonna override reality a la Mimosa. 11 times out of 10, I am picking Naruto Storm over Shinobi Strikers. I'm not a fan of the graphics. I'm not a fan of the gameplay. I'm not a big fan of it, personally. I'm not saying that it's a bad game. I'm just saying that it's not my cup of tea per se, but that's still a big feat. 3 million copies. A lot of what one of the biggest selling points of this game, why I picked it up initially to begin with, was the fact that it had the create your own shinobi, and while it was kind of limited to a certain degree, ultimately you could create your own shinobi, and that was something that was like a must-have for a long time for Naruto fans, for Dragon Ball fans. I think Dragon Ball, the first time they actually gave us, that was that terrible, in retrospect, Ultimate Tenkaichi video game. Like, that shit was garbage. Shinobi Strikers wasn't like that by any means. I'd pick Shinobi Strikers over Ultimate Tenkaichi. But yeah, the character customization was a big deal, and I think that probably sold a ton of those. Like, the name Naruto sold a ton of those. The fact that there's no other Naruto game that has come out in the last 4 years for consoles is what sold that, and the character creation is probably like 1 million a piece, sold all of that right there. And the crazy thing is that it's not even done yet. This kind of blew my mind, because according to this, it says Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker game adds Kawaki as 28th DLC character. This year's 8th issue of Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump magazine revealed on Monday that Kawaki will be the 28th DLC character for Bandai Namco Entertainment's Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker game. The DLC will quote-unquote release soon. The character will be the 5th and final character in the game's 4th season pass. The season pass focuses on the theme of regeneration. The first new character in the 4th season pass is Sakura Haruno from the Great Ninja War. The second character is Nagato Edo Tensei form. The third character is Itachi Edo Tensei form, and the 4th character is Sasuke Uchiha Final Battle. They've had some season passes that don't sound enticing. Maybe Kawaki is probably the only thing out of this, because hey, it's a newer character that just debuted in the Boruto anime. I'm hype about him. I'm hype about him in the manga right now. Like, yeah, Kawaki is awesome, but imagine if Naruto Storm would have been supported for 28 DLCs spanning across years. We would have been having a different conversation. I ain't gonna lie, it's not like they completely dumped Storm, but you remember, like, it was like every year a new Storm. It would be like Storm 2, Storm Revolution, Storm 3, Storm Generations, or I might have said that backwards, Storm 4, Storm Road to Boruto. Like, they did it up with those, but they didn't like carry it off with DLC. I just can't wait for, I ain't gonna lie, another Naruto game to be announced already, something that probably will be more up my alley. And since they got, come on, y'all sold 3 million of these bad boys, and y'all done 28 freaking DLCs. Let's get something new. I ain't gonna lie, I'm ready. But again, it's not to rain on this game's parade. 3 million copies is 3 million copies. Very well done. And just in general, clap it up that they got Kawaki DLC. You thought I was gonna say that? Let me stop being immature. It was very unpleasant to see last night over on the Twitters, or I guess technically when you're watching this, it was not last night, but either way, it was very unpleasant to see, and I was very disheartened to see this as well, because the author of Vinland Saga went on somewhat of an apology tour down my timeline over something that I was just like, really? Like, based on what I can gather and why he was apologizing, I was like, what the hell? Because the author of Vinland Saga, I believe, also is the author of another series, another manga, Planetus, if I'm not mistaken, and it's more like a space adventure type of thingy-majig. And basically, from, again, what I could gather, we're gonna read it all in a second, he said something in regards to the lore of his series. He wasn't talking about real life, he was talking about the lore of his series, but due to the statement essentially being made out of context, apparently some people were attacking him, and he went on an apology tour. Let's take a look. So he was tweeting, and he was saying in reference to his story, again, Planetus, that is a space series, if I'm not mistaken, referring to space and things like that. It's not a fantasy, fiction, or reality, okay? We hope you enjoy it. On top of that, if you can invoke something positive in your heart, it's all about manga artists. Thank you to everyone who enjoys Planetus. And I should have said you copy instead of okay. You copy is cool. And he was talking about the space series Planetus, right? And he also said, well, just a few words. Planetus is completely fiction, and it's just a lie. A spaceship that doesn't exist, the breed that doesn't exist, a person who doesn't exist, and my fantasy set in the future. Regarding the impression that it is not interesting, I'm sorry for my lack of power. Pretty much, again, all in reference to his series, that the spaceship, nothing within his story, Planetus, I gotta keep on reiterating that, is real. But I believe, based on the context I can gather from all this, that he was being attacked, or people took it out of context and were basically trying to say that he was saying that spaceships and space and everything in reality isn't real. Like, basically he was saying space is fake or some shit like that. So that's what I believe people took it as, and boy did he go on an apology tour, and then followed by a rant about his picture on Twitter. But let's carry on so you guys can see what he said. No, I want to apologize. No one has told me at all. I really respect the people involved in space development, and I don't want to conflict with them at all. It's fiction, I understand. How bad is it to put out the fire? I'm sorry, it's too painful, so just a little more. This has nothing to do with the anime version of Planet Test. It's only about my original manga. First of all, I'm very sorry that I am inconvenienced to all the people concerned by drawing only lies with my knowledge. Continue. I draw manga with a sweet outlook. If it's interesting, will you forgive me? But of course, some people find it uninteresting. Of course, for that person, it's not fun to spend time, and only the lies and inconveniences of the gnawing knowledge remain. I have no excuse. Just sorry. On top of that, if you continue to be offended, you will be at a loss as to how you apologize. Planet Test is my fantasy and fiction. It has nothing to do with anyone or any organization that actually exists. I would appreciate your understanding. So basically, he's trying to say nobody told me anything, but he went on profusely apologizing if he offended real world corporations, real world organizations such as, let's just say, NASA, by saying like, yo, space is fake, essentially. But he was talking about in the confines of his story that, yo, it's not real in my story. The spaceship is not real. And yeah, he basically went on apologizing. And it's really sad, man, that this is the day and age we're in, that you say a line and you're referencing something totally different. You're basically innocently speaking your mind about something, and because of the day and age that we're in, and everybody gets offended by damn near every possible thing you could think of, he has to go and apologize about Planet Test. Like, the Villain Saga author is apologizing about talking about his own fucking manga because people might take it away that he's saying space is fake. Ave Maria. Like, dog, that's ridiculous, and he shouldn't have apologized, period. There was nothing to apologize. You were talking about your own freaking story. Like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him. I feel genuinely so bad, but this is what the day and age we're in, where people are on edge. I myself find myself sometimes like, damn, should I apologize? Like, maybe I shouldn't have, like, said that. Like, it really messes with you when you feel like, yo, at any given moment, they're gonna come for me, they're gonna destroy my career over an opinion, over just saying something that might not even be within the confines of what they're thinking of. Like, it's crazy. And then following that, he just started going on a rant at how his picture was blurry on Twitter all of a sudden. So that's it. It looks like the icon is fanning. What is the cause of this? I'm sick and angry. This face, you Photoshop. Do you understand what you are doing, you icon? It's an icon I took more than 10 years ago because it was around the time I started Twitter. The image quality is very bad. I wonder what to do because it's a good opportunity. I wonder if I should change it. It's that, because it's a basic fluttering face. It may be better to have a character picture. Like, dog, he had a breakdown to the point where he felt like he should just take his picture off of Twitter and said it's blurry, and like, dog, I ain't gonna lie. Like, really, people don't understand the effects of mental health with the social media stuff. And I get it. People say, this is what you signed up for. No. Find a contract where it says the author of Vinland Saga signed that he could feel, you know, like a nervous wreck because he said something about his own fucking manga and people might take it out of context. You ain't gonna find that, okay? Like, my hat's off to the man that he, you know, I'm sure he went through it, like, to the point where he just started raging about it. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I never went through it that bad where I felt like, oh shit, I'm gonna get attacked. And look at my fucking picture on Twitter. What the? Just shout outs to my guy. And again, it's the unfortunate situation that we find ourselves in today in society, that talking about your own manga makes you feel like, yo, I might have said something wrong about real life events or something. Oh my god, I didn't mean that on social media. Crazy. Okay, people, next up, we got a slew of very, very hype announcements. I'm not gonna lie. I'm talking about 3 big video game announcements based off of manga and manhwa, but it's like the popular manhwa. Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell you like, yeah, I wish is getting it. No. Pretty much, we got 3 video game announcements. I believe 2 of them is mobile, if I'm not mistaken, and 1 of them is console. And I guess let's get started with the 7 deadly sins, because I found this post. Somebody said, phew, how hard it is to find it. The 7 deadly sins Origins is a game that appears as a sequel to Grand Cross. It will be open world. You can climb walls or dive to find treasure chests in water. It is programmed for PC, mobile, and consoles. Oh shit, so this is going to be consoles as well and PC. And there's a trailer right here, and I'm not going to lie, based off the trailer, this looks like it's going to be so much fun. I ain't gonna lie, the other 7 Deadly Sins mobile game was actually pretty fun. Like, I didn't give it enough of a fair shake. That's why I always still say Bleach Brave Soul's favorite mobile game of all time. But like, just looking at it, the action, Meliodas fighting and everything, it looked like he was fighting one of the 10 commandments, the weather changing and stuff like that. This is going to be insane. Honestly, I will probably play this for consoles. Whoa, I just thought about it. It's going to be on PC, mobile, and consoles. Normally, isn't it just like PC and consoles or just mobile? I mean, I guess there's, I'm sure people are going to, no, Fenev, you don't know. I'm not that big into gaming like that, all right? But I'm into gaming like this. Like, right here, this is already, oh my god. Like, that's one of the things that, like, if you go to the Naruto Storm games, my favorites, minus, like, because it got really good towards the end, like Storm 4 and stuff like that, the graphics and everything, the gameplay and whatnot. But I really appreciated Storm 1, that it felt open world, even though you can only really run around in the confines of Konoha. But nevertheless, I love that aspect of it. And I'm looking at Meliodas right here. He's diving, swimming underwater. This is something I need in my life, and I'm definitely going to get this game. If it's free on mobile, I might cheap out, but if it's on consoles and it's not that expensive or whatnot, or if it's a free-to-play on consoles, which it probably will be now I'm thinking of it, like if they're putting it on mobile and consoles, it'll probably be a free-to-play with like in-game purchases or whatnot. I'm here for it, baby. So we got a 7 Deadly Sins game incoming. It looks beautiful. It looks like it might be a really, really awesome freaking game. But then on top of that, there was 2 manhwa-inspired games coming out. Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is getting a console game, and this one is pretty significantly different even from that one. And I want to say the 7 Deadly Sins game is from Netmarble. I'm not too sure about the Solo Leveling one, but yeah, based on what I've seen from the Solo Leveling game, because there's a trailer with it too, it kind of looks like Devil May Cry with like a really epic OST, the gameplay, and I'm like, oh my god, this one I need to. Now, I'm not too familiar with Solo Leveling, to be honest with you. I know that it just recently ended. There's murmurings about an anime coming through, but yeah, Solo Leveling reminds me, and manhwa in general reminds me, that I feel like, because the generation before us, and I know I'm getting a little bit deep, but just bear with me, the generation before us weren't into cartoons, weren't into animated things. In fact, they were told by the media that cartoons is for children. They were indoctrinated with that mindset. So then when we got into cartoons, when we got into animation, and we kind of pumped it to where it's at right now, there's a lot of this next generation that is also into animation. But I feel like this next gen, just like how it is with music, how it is with everything, with cinema and whatnot, they're going to go in their own direction. And while we love the Japanese comics, you know, we love manga, we love Japanese animation, anime, I think the next generation might pump and move forward in a different direction of still loving animation. But I think Korean manga and Korean anime is going to be the next big thing with that generation. It might not happen really soon, but there's titles that are making waves. Like, imagine Solo Leveling pops off, boom, people start buying the manhwa, and they're in color. So it's something else that the next generation can be like, oh, it's in color as well. The Japanese ones are black and white. I'm going to go with the color. It's just how kids think. You know, they love colorful things. It's visually appealing to a child's eye. And I think that's one of the big things that's going to happen. Again, I thought initially, like, oh, maybe in my generation, you know, the manhwa and stuff like that is going to take over. It's not going to take over. It's going to make waves. And I think the next generation might push it to be what, like, Dragon Ball Z was for our generation, Naruto was. I think the Solo Levelings, the Gods of High School, the Tower of God, those are going to be the next gen. And speaking of Tower of God, because like I said, it was a triple whammy. We got 7 Deadly Sins with a Netmarble game. We got a console game for Solo Leveling. I'm not sure. Is it Netmarble? I don't think, but I'm not 100% sure. Which again, it looks like Devil May Cry. It looks freaking awesome. And then on top of that, Tower of God also got a game. And I want to say that is as well from Netmarble. And it looks freaking awesome as well. It's a new, I'm not too familiar with exactly like the details of it, but looking at the trailer, it looks fun as shit as well. And I'd imagining this one probably be mobile, because I'm a big Tower of God fan, but I just like the story and the characters and stuff like that. So I don't know if this video game, like, it looks cool. And just in general, this is a great day right now for people that love anime inspired video games, manhwa inspired, whatever it is. This is freaking awesome. I'm not too familiar with Solo Leveling. I might get into the video game before I get into the series. I don't know. Like, I only read a couple of chapters of the first volume, which I got the first volume back there somewhere. But yeah, then Tower of God. Wow, this is crazy. I'm looking at it right here. It looks pretty freaking awesome as well. And a triple whammy. Again, big video games coming. So yeah, people, a triple whammy of video games. And again, I think it's so awesome. It's a break away from, we've been having these fighting game after fighting game and battle arena. Like, let's get something different. An open world 7 Deadly Sins game. A Devil May Cry style solo leveling game. I am all the way here for it. This is the change that we need. You see Bandai is making changes. We got a hide and seek Dragon Ball game coming out. Even if the games from Bandai don't look the greatest or whatnot, ultimately they look like they're going to be fun. And that's what video games for me personally has always been about. Fun. Okay, people, next up, I wanted to cover this because I found it to be interesting. A prominent voice actor in the anime industry, just in general, he's done a lot of really awesome and amazing things. He played Spike Spiegel in Cowboy Bebop. He played Orochimaru in Zabuza in Naruto Shippuden. He's Tom from Toonami, and the list goes on and on with this man. I'm talking about Steve Bloom. Recently over on Facebook, he made a post, and he usually expresses his opinion on a lot of different things, but I did find this one to be interesting because it was regarding voice actors poaching other voice actors' jobs. Let's read. He said, "Hey VO folks, just a gentle reminder, if you see an audition for a role somebody is currently playing or has recently played, don't automatically assume it's okay. It often means the person who has played that role is in negotiations. You don't want to get your big break by poaching. Ask questions. If you know that person, ask them first. Thank you. Hashtag integrity matters." And somebody said, which was kind of like counterintuitive to what Steve Bloom was saying, "Sounds like gatekeeping, Steve. I get your point. No one wants to see their friends or coworkers lose a job, but you can't get mad at someone else taking less money so they have an opportunity to feed their family and get into their dream job. Not everyone can win the same race." And Steve replied, "You don't win by bringing down the bar, ever. If you believe that undercutting someone is the path to your dream job, please choose another profession. You won't last long in this one," which I gotta agree, like, you're bringing down the whole industry by undercutting, like, yo, oh, what, he wants $100 an hour or some shit, I'll do it for 50, I'll do it for 40. You're really creating problems for the industry. So I definitely agree on that one. And then another person said, "This feels like something really easy to say as one of the top talents in an industry that seems to just cycle through the top talents." And Steve replied, "Sure, it only took me 30 years and 100-hour weeks working 3 crappy day jobs to get here, but please tell me how easy I had it," which Steve Bloom been doing this a long time. He's a vet. I'm not gonna lie, I can understand maybe some people feeling a certain way in terms of like, yo, dog, come on, man, people want to get their break, but if your break is by breaking someone else's legs, you're going to break, okay? You can't do that because, I mean, for starters, just look at it from a social standpoint. A lot of voice actors, they're friends with one another. If they feel like, you know, Jenny got in by taking Greg's job, they're gonna look at Jenny like, oh, you know what I'm saying? We don't really want Jenny around here. Jenny just messed up Greg's life, his livelihood. He's had that job for like 20 years. He was playing, you know, etc., etc. So they probably ain't gonna rock with Jenny and probably aren't gonna want to have her a part of conventions and all that stuff. So I don't know. I feel like Steve is right for the most part. I can understand the other side of it, but in general, again, you don't want to ruin somebody else's passion and job and in general what they got going on because you want an opportunity. I can understand maybe ignorance if like, hey, I just wanted to try and get a job voice acting. I had no idea that X, Y, and Z was in negotiations or the original voice to begin with. So yeah, I can understand that, but definitely what he said in there as well kind of applies to that. Ask questions. So very interesting stuff. Let me know what you think on this one. Kind of curious to see you guys' perspective on what Steve Bloom had to say regarding voice actors poaching other voice actors' jobs. Next up, people, more bad news regarding the virus hitting other voice actors in the industry, which I'm not even gonna lie, it is wild how it's been like the last couple weeks. We just keep hearing voice actor after voice actor after voice actor that got hit with it, that has contracted it, because now it says voice actor Junichi Suwabe diagnosed with COVID. Talent agency Haikyo announced on Monday that voice actor Junichi Suwabe has been diagnosed with the new COVID disease. Suwabe had previously come into possible contact with a person infected with COVID and thus began to self-isolate. He had an issue with his throat on Saturday, so he took a test, which came back positive. Following advice from medical professionals, Suwabe will focus on recuperating, while the agency will identify individuals with whom Suwabe was in close contact with in the previous days. Suwabe has voiced such characters as Victor Nikiforov of Yuri on Ice, Shota Aizawa from My Hero Academia, Archer and Fate Stay Night. Oh, so this guy is a little bit of a legend here. Daiki Aomine from Kuroko no Basket, Akira Hayama from Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma, Grimmjow in Bleach, Keigo Atobe, the Prince of Tennis, and Leon, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden. Ave Maria. Yo, this dude is he's an OG. Yo, please get better. I really pray for him. You know, at the end of the day, some people obviously affects him in different ways. Some people get really sick. I've said it multiple times. Beginning of this year, I was deadly sick. I couldn't get out of bed. I was in bed for like 2-3 days straight with a migraine. Thankfully, I had backup videos, so you guys really didn't catch wind of it, but I was sick as a dog. So yeah, I prayers and best wishes to him, anybody he's been in contact with, his family and all that jazz. Get better, Grimmjow. We need you to come and kick some major ass in the upcoming Bleach anime, alright? Nah, seriously, just get better. Okay, people, and last story of the episode, it was released, which in case you don't know, one of the biggest sellers or buyers or just in general industries of anime and manga outside of Japan is France. France loves them some anime, love them some manga, especially their manga sales. It'd be astronomical. And here we have, I believe, the top 28 selling manga for France for 2021, and it is definitely interesting to note. And I believe these are volumes, so it's not just like full-on series. But at 28, Demon Slayer number 9, 27, One Piece number 4, 26, Demon Slayer number 8, a lot of Demon Slayer already, 25, Demon Slayer number 7, then 24 and 23 is Spy X Family 2 and 3, My Hero at 22 with My Hero number 4. Wow, so a lot of newer fans getting into the series, obviously, if, you know, number 4 is doing 132,000. Demon Slayer number 5 at 21 with 133. One Piece number 3. Wow. Yo, a lot of people must have just got into One Piece because volume 3 sold 137,000 in 2021. That means probably upward of 100,000 new One Piece fans alone in France. That's crazy. Start content creators, One Piece creators in particular, go start catering to France. They got a lot of One Piece brand new fans. They would love your content, I'm sure. Then Naruto number 4. God damn, Naruto. Yo, 139,000. What happened? That's crazy. 18, Jujutsu Kaisen number 2. 17, My Hero Academia number 3. It looks like just a whole bunch of brand new manga fans in general. Jujutsu Kaisen number 0, 146,000 at 16. Assassination Classroom number 1. Yeah, it seems like just a strong wave of new anime or new manga fans. Spy X Family number 1. Demon Slayer number 4 at 13. Then 12. Attack on Titan number 1, My Hero Academia number 2 at 11, top 10, One Piece number 2 at 10. What the hell is going on? 171,000, Demon Slayer number 3, 184,000, then number 8, Jujutsu Kaisen number 1, 191,000, Naruto number 3. What? Why is old Naruto and One Piece volume selling hundreds of thousands of copies? What? My Hero Academia number 1, 206,000. That's interesting. My Hero Academia number 1 sold more than like Naruto number 1. Oh no, never mind. Hold on. Demon Slayer number 2, 207,000, and number 5, One Piece number 1 at 200 with 223,000. At number 4, Naruto number 2, 230,000 at number 3, Demon Slayer number 1, 254,000 at number 2, and Naruto volume 1 with 274,000 at number 1. The highest selling manga volume in France in 2021 was Naruto volume 1. Yo, clap it up for the newbies. Clap it up for the new fans. We gotta welcome them with open arms. We can't gatekeep into this fandom that we love of anime and manga. Welcome aboard if you're in France watching right now. Bonjour to the FORNEVERNEWS, baby. That's really interesting though to see like 2020. It looks like once the pandemic hit in 2020, like in the US, it was 2020. It was a rush. So many new anime and manga fans. And then 2021, it looks like it continued on in places like France where they just started getting all of the old stuff. That's really freaking awesome. And it also shows that a lot of these series, Naruto, One Piece, they stood the test of time long enough to be able to be in the ranks and outdoing newer series with new fans. Like instead of My Hero or Demon Slayer, you would think, right, it's 2021 at that particular point being number 1. It's Naruto, and One Piece is in the mix as well. Like shout outs to that, and just in general, again, really awesome stuff over there in France. It seems like they got some pretty awesome fans coming through. And yeah, people, that's all the stories we have for today's episode. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story, stories that maybe you think I missed that I should include in the next episode. Obviously, this one wraps up the week from Monday through Friday. We'll be back on Monday with the next episode of FORNEVERNEWS. Weekend, of course, we do anime videos, manga videos, all that jazz. But yeah, another successful week. Shout outs to you guys for continuing to support. Love to see it. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm FORNEVERWORLD, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace, and you guys just watched another episode of FORNEVERNEWS. Have an awesome day, baby. Ooh, I know you love the FORNEVERWORLD hat, dog. We coming through. We coming through. Let's go. Oh. You are